Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning.
Look who's here. Oh, good morning.
Good
How
morning.
you?
I'm all right. How
You had
are
a good
you?
weekend.
That's the energy you're starting your Monday morning with. I take it there has been no breakfast.
I gave you a response. Oh, there's never breakfast at this time.
Okay,
it's too early for
early.
me.
Yeah,
I think
feel
I'd
the
rather
same.
do breakfast maybe after 7 or 8.
Okay.
I don't know if you're the type who can have breakfast at 4 a.m. before you
Oh,
get to work.
definitely not. I'm doing something called intermittent fasting, but
You've
that's
been
for
doing
us.
this for the last decade, Helen.
I've been doing it for 2 years.
For the
Bella.
last decade, Helen.
But,
what are you fasting intermittently for?
Apparently it's good for like cell rejuvenation, but I do have to prefix this by saying I'm no doctor. So do
Okay.
consult your, health professional before you embark on any fasting journey. But it is a brand new Monday morning, so
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I'm ready.
Is this a religious thing you're doing?
No, this is
spiritual
health-wise.
or just health-wise?
This is just health-wise.
So how do
yeah.
you do it? So what do you do?
So basically, apparently, a lot of energy is spent on digesting food. In fact, some of the meats you ate in January could still be in your stomach, in your system. You know this. And you use up a lot of resources in the body when you're digesting food. So health experts say if you give your body ample time to digest food, and then it's not, scrambling for other resources. So you give yourself some, let's say 16 hours of no eating. Allow the body to fully digest food. It also helps for cell rejuvenation, helps you feel better. It's also good for discipline. You know what I'm saying?
16 hours minus the time you sleep?
Including the time you sleep.
So that's already 8 hours.
That's already 8 hours.
So
Very
plus
simple.
another 8 hours.
That's another 8 hours.
But I mean, what's the latest time that you eat at night?
So for example, if you want to, your eating window, if you're fasting for 16 hours, is 8 hours. So for example, somebody like you, you've got a busy lifestyle. You could do maybe 12 noon
Why are
till
you
8.
using me? I'm asking you what you are
That's
doing.
what I
Why is
do,
it someone
12
like
to
me?
8. Someone I'm giving you my
No, so what's the latest
recommendation.
time that you eat in the evening? Is it like, do you
Say,
stop
it
eating from
depends.
6?
Maybe 6 p.m., 8 p.m. is the cutoff time.
Oh,
Aha.
so it's not cast in stone.
It's not cast in
Depends on how
stone.
you calculate your hours.
Very flexible.
Okay.
Are you trying it today?
My house witches. Ha! You didn't lie.
We'll do a little challenge for the week.
No, when I make up my mind that I want to fast is
Yeah.
when I get the most hungry.
It's when everybody around you is eating the
Listen,
most delicious selection.
Even when people are not eating, in my mind, I mean, there's just this demon somewhere that says that there's some meat in the fridge or there's popcorn in the fridge or
some
something.
biscuits
So
on the side.
I always would go and nibble, and I like to nibble a lot. But for me, I mean, maybe that works for you. I lose weight easily, so I'm unable to really, unless
How
I'm
does
doing
it
like
feel
a
to be
spiritual
God's
fast.
favorite?
I don't see that as being God's favorite because
No.
I'm also trying to gain some weight.
I see.
But I struggle because, even if I get broken hearts for 2 hours, I'm losing all the
Oh.
weight that I've gained.
Some of us
over
on
a
the
week.
opposite spectrum.
Yeah.
You drown in some chocolates, kakra, bit of biscuits.
That's the thing, I don't eat. So even when I'm stressed out, sometimes I can go the whole day without eating because I'm very busy and I lose weight because of that. And I can tell when I wear my clothes. So I like to at least eat. I try to eat healthy, but I eat, as
Frequently.
often as possible so I can maintain the weight.
Yeah.
So we're two different people.
Well,
In
we'll
this
see.
case.
Maybe this
But that's
week
how
I'll
life
rope
is.
you in to some
You did
intermittent
lie.
fasting.
You did lie.
We'll report
good
on our
morning,
findings.
by the way. And yes, I hope that you had a good weekend. Not so good for quite a number of people whose homes
Indeed.
were flooded, cars, were submerged in the water and all of that. I saw scary videos. Scary videos.
Very scary,
The
Bella.
Kanishita credit station. I've never seen that before. So I didn't even understand how the water went all the way to the window level. I saw a car that was almost submerged. You could see it just, driving into the drain.
And you
I
see
was
the
trying to
people who were on
navigate.
the side, they were screaming.
I'm not sure which area that was though, because I tried to check with the news outlets to see. I didn't see anyone state exactly where, but
Yeah.
apparently it was recorded on Saturday when it rained. But it rained for so long.
Several hours, and that was my biggest fear. When the downpour wasn't letting up, my first thought was there's so many vulnerable people who are going to be affected by it. But that video that you also saw, very harrowing. You just see the car moving into that water. I'm not too sure
Exactly.
why people are so confident driving in those types of conditions. It's a cautionary tale to all of us to,
Yeah.
if you're in that situation, maybe park and find safety before you attempt to drive your vehicle. You saw people on rooftops filming, and they're near electricity poles. You know the kind of disaster that could spell in the event of water getting to contact with these cables.
electricity.
I mean, but it's something we talk about every
day.
single year. We know when the rains arrive, we know when the rains end. We talk about it. There might be a few hashtags, and then
Accra
we
floods.
move on.
June 3rd, Accra floods. That's what we do all the time. And so I wasn't surprised. Like you said, we talk about it all the time.
Indeed.
And I was expecting the hashtag to be up. And so I kept checking Twitter to see, because I also wanted some updates on what was happening around town, because I was home throughout. Then I saw it and I started seeing the videos, people's accounts of what was happening, people who had lost their properties, and it was just heartbreaking. But again, this happens all the time. Is it a shared responsibility? Yes. Are we doing our part as citizens? Is government doing its parts as well? That is where I have a problem with, because I remember that just around sometime last year, I think around the rainy season or so, there was a man who was arrested because just when it was raining and was flooded in his area, he walks out and pours rubbish into, the water.
That's awful.
And you expect that government will do its part and you won't do your part, and you don't expect flooding. I mean, I do understand when they say shared responsibility. I heard the housing minister yesterday say that we've invested some 450 million Ghana cedis so far in addressing Accra or Ghana's perennial floods. Where and where? Why are we still experiencing this if we're investing so much money into addressing this? And for me, that's where the problem is.
It's important, even thinking about that sanitation levy that is attached to the price of fuel every time you go to the pumps. It would be interesting to find out how much has accrued over the years since that sanitation levy has been implemented, and how far that's going to make Accra the cleanest city in West Africa. That's what we're going for. But the aftermath of the rains is that you get the roads looking very dangerous. Sanitation, not so great. We are in the thick of things. We're in the throes of the rainy season. So dare I say, things are probably going to get worse before they do get better. Very harrowing scenes that you're seeing there. Cars floating, washed away. It's devastating.
And I feel like we go to sleep. And I'll say this because we all talk about how there's a need to keep our surroundings clean.
That's right.
When I was younger, you'd hear it all over the place. Keep your surroundings clean. There'll be garbage bins here and there. Where are those garbage bins? I remember that they were circulated during the Kufuor era. So we had bins all over the place. Where are those bins now? Sometimes you walk by the streets and you can't even find any bin to drop your litter. So, of course, you have no excuse for wanting to drop your litter on the ground. But where are the assembly people who are supposed to ensure that all these areas are kept clean? I feel like everybody goes to sleep. There's no sensitization, or even if there is, it's very minimal. We just wait till it's the rainy season, and then we all come back and come and talk about floods again. After that, we go back to sleep. What are we doing, and what is government doing beyond just coming out to inspect? Yesterday, I saw the minister inspecting, and I was like, what are you inspecting? I'm sorry, sir, I know you're doing your job.
That's right.
But are we going to see you do this every year? Because that's become very cliche. That it rains, it floods. We see the officials going to inspect the places that have, flooded. And then they come out and say, oh, but we've invested this much into drainage systems and all of that. If you have, why are we not seeing the effects?
That's right.
Why are we not seeing the effects? Must we always deal with this at every point? Why is the assembly asleep? What are they doing about it? I remember that Johnny used to complain so much about rubbish that was dumped at Circle, just under the bridge. Every morning it will be dumped there. And he went there to go and record a video. I mean, he's here, maybe he'll talk about it later and tell us if this morning there's anything of that sort. But he complained incessantly that every morning, so they go and collect the rubbish from wherever and come and dump it there early in the morning, even before the sun rises. So when you pass there by 6 a.m., you see a heap of rubbish at Circle. And Danny, I don't know if you can find that video from the past. Johnny used to talk about it a lot. But this was happening even in the center of the city.
Like you say, it's a shared responsibility. There has to be that infrastructure that lets citizens know, well, you cannot do this. Are there sanctions, fines? Do we take those things seriously? There needs to be a bigger deterrence. But of course, as citizens, we have to do our part. If you've got rubbish and nowhere to put it, you wrap it, put it in your bag. When you get home, you dispose of it. It is a shared responsibility. But silence is not an option. And that's why we will keep talking about these issues. They matter to you, so of course, they matter to us.
Are we educating people enough?
Well, the NCCE have a big task.
NCCE, wow. Okay.
Ahead of them. Maybe they're a bit short on funds. You didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear that
No, but
from
we've heard, we had the former CEO of the NCCE complain bitterly about lack of funds. I
they have to rely on donor support
yes.
to do their work. There's a lot of information that the citizens need that the NCCE has to take up in putting that education out there. It's imperative.
why does it work in other countries? And I always cite Dubai as an example. They don't just have litter bins. They have litter bins that are segregated. And so you know where to put your plastic, you know where to put organic waste and all of that. And it's all across. So even when you go, especially the expo grounds as well, I mean, you don't even need to touch the bin. Once you get close to it, you know, you can just, exactly. What's happening to all of that? I mean, again, I'll say that all we do is talk, and we've invested this amount of money into a drainage system and this and that. We even build roads. Engineers have told us that some of the roads that were built, there's no proper drainage system. A whole Circle Dubai floods. A Chimota overpass floods when it rains. And you see water sitting atop the overpass, which is shocking because you'd expect that for it to be that high and, you know, the way it slopes, the water should be able to seep into the drainage or something. But you pass, and even this morning, I'm sure that anybody who used that road would see, it floods so much that everybody now has to come to one side.
It's not safe.
And this is not the first time it's happened. For the longest time that I've been using that road, the same thing happens over time. Have we bothered to address that? No. No. It's the same problem. So who's asleep and who's not? Who's supposed
There's
to be
more
doing
rain
their
to
work
come,
and they're not?
Ella. More rain to come.
It's heartbreaking, guys. And I don't know where you live. I don't know what your experience is, but share with us what you encountered over the weekend or if you saw anybody going through it. What do you make of the situation? And are we really, really addressing it or we're just paying lip service as usual? The hashtag is TV3Newday. It's good to have you. Helen is here with us for the next what?
For a while, it's a big transfer window, so we're about to have some good times.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Cookie is on a little break. Of course, she deserves it. It's not easy waking up this early to come to work every day. And so, well, yes, enjoy your rest wherever you are, Cookie. And Helen and I and Johnny, of course, will come your way every morning with the latest happenings around the country and around the world. Johnny is up next with Johnny's Bites. We'll be right back.